What's happening? On today's episode, pão de queijo, or cheese bread. Brazilian cheese bread. I'm Bernardo, and this is Savage Kitchen. Let's get into it. Cheese bread. If you're not familiar with cheese bread, or pão de queijo, it's a little Brazilian pastry. It is served appetizer, bakeries, at home. Brazilians love it so much they have frozen ones. The thing is about cheese bread is it can be a little time consuming, it can be a little tricky. It's traditionally handmade where you roll each little cheese ball by hand and then you bake them. But I have something better. I have a better recipe. I have a super easy recipe. I have a recipe so great, if you've been to steakhouses, you've probably eaten cheese bread. And I think that some of the steakhouses probably use my method as well. And what's great about my method and what's awesome about it, instead of hand rolling each one, use a blender. A blender and a mini muffin pan, I should say. So if you look, here's a regular muffin pan, right? But you just we'll use a little mini one. And the little mini one will then go ahead and produce this little mini joy of love. Really, that's what it is. Just joy of love. But let me give you a quick breakdown of the ingredients in the pão de queijo, the cheese bread. You're gonna need 1 large egg. You're gonna need some oil, some vegetable oil of sorts. You're gonna need some milk, tapioca flour, cheese, probably mozzarella or Parmesan or Italian mix of your choice, and a little salt to taste. About the oil, you'll want to use a vegetable oil and a neutral flavor. In my recipe, I'm using canola. You can use any kind of oil. I would stay away from extra virgin olive oil because it can be a little pungent, especially the really flavorful ones. And in this dish, it really can come out and kind of steal away from the cheese and kind of it can really come out in the cheese bread, which I don't really like. But if you do, you can use. Maybe you should try that out. Maybe you'll like it. Oh, tapioca. If you're not familiar with tapioca, or if you are, tapioca is made from the cassava root. A lot of South American and Asian countries like it. If you're familiar with bubble tea, they use a lot of tapioca in bubble tea. It's a sweet one. Today we're making it a savory dish, so it's kind of like a flour, and it's made from the cassava root. So cool things about tapioca. The cool things about tapioca, it's gluten free. So if you're gluten intolerant, this is a bread that you could eat. If you're on a gluten free diet, this is a bread you can eat. So those are really awesome things about it. So let's get started. How you want to get going is you want to get your blender. I have this Blendtec. You don't necessarily need a high-end blender like this. Any blender will do. I've been making cheese bread way before I ever got this blender. So what you'd want to start off with is you want to start off by going ahead and putting your liquids at the bottom of the blender. So start off with your egg, a 1/4 cup of oil, 2/3 of a cup of milk, and you want about 1.5 cups of tapioca or 170 grams of tapioca flour. What I like to do is I like to portion my tapioca into little batches in the blender. That way it will keep the tapioca flour from sticking to the sides of the blender, not getting mixed in well. And it will keep, if you have a weak blender, it'll keep the blender blending pretty smoothly and normal. So I'll go ahead and do that. After that, I'll go ahead and I'll use my cheese, about 1/2 cup packed or 60 to 70 grams of cheese. Here it's mozzarella, it's an Italian mix. So it's just mozzarella, provolone, Asiago, and Parmesan. But you can use any mix, any kind of cheese that you'd like. And then don't forget the salt. Gotta have salt, because if you don't put salt, the dish becomes a little bland. So make sure you put in a salt. I have a 1/2 tablespoon of salt in this recipe. So, and then there you have it. After you're done, after you zip it all up, get it all nice and blended, you want to get your muffin pan out. Use a spray or whatever kind of oil that you want to keep the batter from sticking. I use canola spray again. I'll take a little brush and actually make sure I brush every single little nook and cranny of the muffin pan really well to make sure, because sometimes the batter will stick. It's not that big of a deal, but it's a great practice to do, and I like to do it. So then you go ahead and you just pour it in like you would, nice and carefully. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to leave a little headroom at the top, because your cheese bread, will poof up, right? So it'll poof up. So if you actually look, I actually put, I poured it to about right here, and then it poofed up. And then you'll just set your oven to 400 degrees, toss it in there, 15-20 minutes. I say 15 to 20 minutes because I've baked this dish in many different people's homes, and the times have all come out a little bit different. I know when I originally started this recipe, when I first learned this recipe at my oven at the home that I lived in at the time, it was about like 20 minutes. But here, 15 minutes, and we're done. Really, all you want to do is you want to make sure when you just keep an eye on it once you're getting to know your oven. And what you're looking for is a kind of a slightly golden and like a little whitish top. You'll start seeing a little bit of the cheese speckles being burned inside. If you want to make sure you don't burn them as well on the bottom, because you can't really see on the bottom. So sometimes it's good to maybe take a little fork if you're learning how to do this dish. Take a little fork to just pop it over, make sure if it is starting to brown on the bottom, it's pretty much ready to go and you're set. If you're not too sure about the golden color that I'm trying to show you here. Some tips and tricks, some fun stuff you can do with it. So cheese bread, it's a great dish to have. If you're having parties, it's obviously really great little hand bites. But you can also put little things in them. So you can put cold cuts is really popular. Pepperoni, ham. And what you do is you pour half when you're pouring, doing your pour, you'll pour half of the muffin pan, put whatever filling you want, and then fill it up again. But make sure again to leave a little headroom, because it will puff up and then it'll enclose whatever you want in it. So like I said, ham and pepperoni are really popular, but try different things. I haven't tried a whole bunch of things. I've tried broccoli, it turned out okay. Some steamed broccoli turned out okay in there. Bacon turns out awesome. And cheese. Another thing about the cheese before I forget. It's just an Italian mix in this one, but you can use any kind of cheese. My family really likes blue cheese. One time we put blue cheese in there and they loved it. I didn't really like it. I do like blue cheese, but I didn't really like it. It wasn't really for me in the pão de queijo and the cheese bread. But people really like it. So if you have a favorite cheese and you want to give it a try, I would give it a whirl. Make a batch and see what happens. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you tried it. If you really liked it, please leave me a comment in the below. But that's it, my friends. Brazil's favorite treat, pão de queijo. Look at that. Nice and cheesy. Great snack for a barbecue. Great snack to watch a movie. Your guests will love it. Super easy to do, no hand rolling at all. Just do it, throw in the blender, throw in the muffin pan. Bada boom, bada bing. Throw in the oven. You can set this up, go start the grill or something while you're making a couple of these. Super easy, guys. There you have it. Cheese bread, pão de queijo. Brazil's favorite treat. Let me know what you think. Hit me up with a like, hit me up with a subscribe. Until the next one, my friends. Ciao, ciao. Adoro um pãozinho de queijo.